So I've had family and friends ask me how I make my pizzas because I've shared photos of the finished product when on Facebook and Instagram. So now I'm going to make a little video on how I do it. I do it in a cast iron skillet, just your regular 12-inch size. And I'll be making the dough from scratch. It's enough to make 2 pizzas that size. And I also always buy a block of mozzarella and shred it myself. The pre-shredded will have a waxy powder on it. It just doesn't cook the same. It doesn't melt or brown quite the same. This comes out a lot better, especially if you're going to go through the trouble of making the crust yourself. All right, next section will be... Okay, to get started, we have our water, which is warm to the touch, not hot. To that, we'll add a pack of dry yeast. We'll let that hydrate and come back and start adding the other ingredients. Alright, so the yeast has hydrated for about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do next is start mixing all the ingredients together to make the dough. This is 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon sugar, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons olive oil, then add in your yeast. What I do, since I don't have a stand mixer, as well as a lot of people don't have stand mixers, I simply just use a rubber glove and mix by hand. I keep extra flour next by the side, because sometimes you need to add a little bit, and I'll show you the consistency here once this is thoroughly mixed. So now I'll put it back in the bowl, and I'm going to put a towel over it and then keep it someplace warm, and we're going to let the yeast allow the dough. All right, before you put the dough in the skillet, you obviously need to lubricate it somehow. I usually will use extra virgin olive oil. There are times I will use butter. That will definitely give you a kind of a greasier style crust. But all you need to do is just put a little on paper towel. It's usually maybe a tablespoon or 2. Just give it a nice glaze. One pizza's worth of dough, and we're going to roll it out so that we can fit it into the skillet. What I do, being that we're having it in a cast iron skillet, this needs to heat up first so that the crust will cook properly and to catch up with the toppings on top. The pan, you do not want it going up the sides very far, just a little bit. Feel that it's even going around. Kind of push it around and get it to fit. Then take a fork, lightly puncture then add a little olive oil to the top. This will help prevent the sauce from cooking into the dough. You want to kind of have it crust and keep things separate. Now it is time to put it in the oven at 485 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 minutes. Kind of depends on how many toppings you're going to be putting on it. If you're going to be making something that's pretty thick, then you will probably do less time because the thicker the pizza, the more heat you need going down into it. The pan insulates the bottom of the skillet, or the bottom of the crust, so you need to give compensation for that. I'm just doing pepperoni, mushroom, spinach, and sausage on top of the cheese. So this is kind of average. I'll be doing 2 minutes. You can see that the dough has puffed up a little bit. So let's start putting toppings in. All right, so now we have the pizza top with all the toppings on it. Some special notes on this. If you're going to have anything like sauerkraut, green bell peppers, or even kimchi, those are wet ingredients. They will take longer to cook. So when I did the 2 minutes pre-cooking of the crust, skip that. If you're going to have those toppings on top, they will take longer to cook on top. So you can compensate by not having to cook the crust ahead of time. You will need that. If you cook the crust ahead of time, that extra 2 minutes, you can end up having it burnt and the top still being raw. So this is what it looks like with sausage. Make sure they get pressed down flat in the middle so that they cook properly. And it will go in the oven at 485 degrees for 10 to 11 minutes. On the top shelf, very top shelf, rotate it half a turn and then do another 10 to 11 minutes and check on it. Mozzarella, when you know that if it's a pizza, a lasagna, whatever, you will know that it is cooked all the way through when the mozzarella on top starts getting a little bit of a golden brown crust to it. So that's your key. You want to have in the middle just the start of a little bit of those golden brown spots showing up.